I'm Alison Davis, the President of Essex Savers, and we're the credit union that covers Essex.
Now tell me, you've done a wonderful tie-up for yourselves with Barclays. What does that mean? Why are we here today?
We're here today because Barclays are offering us their premises across Essex so that we can be more visible and accessible in what's already a financial institution. They can refer people to us when they can't help them, and also we hope that some of their major savers will be willing to put some savings with us so that we can help other people who are struggling.
So how has your situation in Chelmsford changed? You were in Guy Harling's. What does this mean?
We're still everywhere we were before, but we're now in Barclays in Chelmsford High Street every Thursday over the lunchtime.
Why has Barclays accepted you on equal status, as it were?
It's been 3 years of negotiation as far as I'm concerned, but they have actually now rolled it out and said they'll offer it to credit unions across the country. So we're sort of the first to be doing this. Our issue is that if we're going into, I don't know how many, 30, 40 branches in Essex, we're going to need volunteers who can spend a few hours a week servicing our members and encouraging people to join us.
Aren't you in opposition or rivals to Barclays as a mainstream bank?
Well, some credit unions are because they want to be banks. I think we're very much feeling that we need to be filling the gap, so that where Barclays can't help people, and that's for lots of different reasons, either that they're not looking at big enough money either to put in or to borrow, or also there may be issues over identification, and we can go down the lines to get the identification needed, which perhaps they haven't the time or to do. It means we're actually servicing the people they can't, or servicing their customers who they can't for a particular product.
So how does it work out? Somebody walks into Barclays, has got no idea what an Essex Saver is. How does it actually work out in practice?
Well, initially, obviously, we're really promoting ourselves, but the thing is their staff are trained to refer people on to us. So as we go into each branch, we train their staff so they know in what circumstances we can help. And Barclays are very much trying to help people who are struggling, but if their systems don't allow them to do that, then they know they've got somebody else that they can pass people on to.
Presumably you can't lend somebody as much as Barclays could.
Well, that depends. I mean, we can actually, and we do, because we're lending several thousands of pounds to people. But Barclays, I think, probably have reduced what their minimum lending is to probably a couple of thousand, whereas, we're very much looking at anything from £100 up to sort of 7,500, 10,000, something like that.
Yeah, so you're not obviously a loan shark. How are you differentiated between yourself and a loan shark? It sounds a silly question, but
yes,
what is it that you can do that loan sharks can't?
Well, loan sharks are actually illegal, so they're charging people anything from 5,000% up to 131,000% APR on loans, probably with no paperwork or anything, and just demanding money back. Often with grievous bodily harm involved. There are obviously loan sharks has become known as something wider than just the illegals. They're looking at all the people who are out on the high street, doorstep people and this sort of thing, that are charging the 2,000 to 5,000-6,000% APR. We're different in the fact that we're limited on what we can charge people. So our maximum APR was 26.8% APR. We're now allowed to go up to 42.6%, and that's been something that the government have put through because they understand that servicing people who are struggling financially and who want small amounts, it's expensive. So that's why they've given that leeway for us to charge a bit more on those loans.
So this is an ideal for somebody who can't lay their hands on anything upwards of £100, £1,000 that they need quickly.
Yes.
You can help them there. and they have a reasonable payback.
Yes, they can pay back. It's tailored to the individual. And the thing is, I mean, what we have done this month with this new ability to charge more for loans, we are offering our own equivalent of a payday loan, but it's an affordable payday loan. So it's an Essex Savers short-term loan, which they can pay back on payday or within 6 months. So that means we'll turn those around much more quickly.
You mentioned that Barclays had opened all its branches potentially to yourselves. Which branches are you taking advantage of? We've got Chelmsford here. Any others?
We're in Brentwood already. We're in Harwich. We go into Clacton on Monday. I'm sure we've got Grays we're in, and we've got a sort of a programme that we're opening. We're going into Southend, their main branch there, but only on a monthly basis. Really, basically, as soon as we've got volunteers, we can move forward, because once they're trained and able to do it, and as I say, it's not a huge commitment, and what ideally we would like in every area is a team of volunteers with somebody sort of leading that, so that we can actually provide our services in a much more consistent way, and make sure that we are regularly there when we say we're going to be there.
Give me a contact, a website or email.
Website is www.essexsavers.co.uk, and we've got an email, info@essexsavers.co.uk, and phone number 01245 496 314. So any of those would get through to us, and we can respond to people. And the website is very much kept up to date, and so all our news is on there. I think we've lent 3.9 million in the last 7 years, and we're at the moment lending out about 100,000 a month.
That is incredible. Where do you get the money from to lend them?
Well, that's from savers, which is why we need people to save, which is why we need, Barclays premier customers to be throwing not all their money, but the odd £1,000 or up to 15,000 is the maximum our way. And we're now able to service businesses, corporates, organisations. So we've got those coming on board, some local authorities, housing associations. If only we had all of them actually supporting us, they wouldn't have to be supporting us with a lot for us to be sustainable. Our problem is that we're still trying to run on a shoestring, and with the tighter regulations, that's really making it.
I can think of quite a few, how can I put it, good religious organisations and churches. Are you telling me that they don't realise what you can do, or how they can help you to help themselves, to help you?
Well, I think certainly since the Archbishop opened his mouth, a year or more ago, we have had churches and church people come to us wanting to be supportive, to put money in, but also some more volunteers and expertise being offered. But the thing is, and in Billericay we happen to be in the library. That's purely down to a huge team of church volunteers. But we need that to happen in more places. And I think it's yes, we need a consistency of support and enthusiasm, really, because really anywhere that there is a team of people, we can service them so that they can be delivering services in their area. We're already involved with churches where they've got food banks and that sort of thing. So people are pushing people in that direction, in our direction from there.
Can you handle more? You sound as if you're already a big banker, a big player.
Well, an indefinite amount, really. And of course, if we can double in size with what comes in and what goes out, we're then in a position to be able to pay our core team of people at our head office, which is what we need to do, because it's all getting so complex that actually volunteers who are coming in perhaps for a day a week, really it's quite difficult for them to do a lot of the regulatory stuff.
If you expand, you'll be able to pay professionals.
Absolutely, yes. We can actually employ people to do the job, and so they would. The problem is, as I say, with volunteers, we try and keep them up to the minute, but we're doing quite a range of services now, and what we're finding is that our members aren't aware of all the services that they can take advantage of, because we do a budget account, we do a Visa card that goes with it, so people can use us as their bank if they want to. If they just want simple banking, we can provide it.
How do you see the future for Essex Savers?
My hope is that we can actually get into all the Barclays in Essex, because we've always wanted to service face-to-face the full membership that is potentially ours, and with our area of operation being Essex, which includes Southend and Thurrock, and now includes Havering as well, which we haven't really started on. We want people to actually have that face-to-face contact, because if they don't, you're back to the situation where people are left to deal with it online, and you can see the queue that's in Barclays, all wanting face-to-face.